Hello everyone, my name is Josh Kinney and today we're going to be talking about Publish. Now my recent video I posted, I showed you how to install Publish on your machine. This one we're going to have an already created Publish project out in GitHub that we will pull down together, and then I'll show you step by step on how to create that to make that into a site that fits your needs. So let's go ahead and jump in to what this site's going to look like at the end of this video. So here we'll have your picture on the front. Your name, what you actually do, so your title, of where you're at, your email, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever you want to post. You want to add GitHub there, whatever you want. I'll show you how to do that. And these are workable links. So if someone clicks this, it'll take you to their actual site. Twitter, it'll take you to their actual Twitter. So it's pretty powerful stuff. From there, on your main screen, you're going to see your posts. Now, whether you post every day, weekly, monthly, yearly, you can add them here. And a couple of these are just fake ones, but this one you can actually see what you can do inside here. So you have your title, and this is showing you how to use your green screen effect in iMovie. And this is just something I quickly put together. You can just see how it's actually used. The next thing is you have your actual videos. Mine's linked to my YouTube channel, but if you have videos posted wherever on the web, I'll show you how you can access those and post them here. So I gave them a title with the picture, and if you click on it, it'll actually take you to my it'll take you to my LinkedIn channel. Automatically playing that video. So you want to talk about upping those likes and those views, which I'm actually working on myself. This could be an outlet for that. The next thing I want to show you is the resume section. Now I blanked out my resume mainly because it's outdated, but this video isn't really focused on my resume. It's just showing you that you can add a tab for your resume and see the power in this actual site. So I just posted my resume there. Not a real number, so don't try to contact that. However, these other ones are. And then the last thing is my about page. Now I was just being goofy, fluffed out my beard, and just kind of said a few things about me. Put a GIF in there, which you can put GIFs, whatever you call it. Then a little bit about my kids, and then what I like to do in my free time. So, and that's going to be unique to yourself, of course, but this is just an overall of what we're going to be creating. All right, so let's go ahead. We are moving right along. Let's head over to GitHub, and I will paste this link in the description below for you guys. But go ahead and go to this code, this green button here, hit the down arrow, hit this clipboard to copy this repository link, and then go to your desktop here and open up Terminal. So Terminal is this little guy right here. That's what the icon looks like. And right here, we're going to go into the desktop by doing CD desktop, and CD means change directory. From there, we want to go ahead and do a clone of our repository. So you do that by doing git clone, so git clone, and then you want to paste in that link that you copied. It'll go ahead and do that for you, and you'll see your new file right here, which is that Swift site. Now, if you click on that, you'll see all the stuff about Publish that you need to run this, which is great. From there, you want to go ahead and go into that folder now. So I'll exit this so you can see, and you're going to do a CD into Swift site, and you know Swift site because it's underneath that folder there. Hit enter, and now we're there. So if you do publish enter, it'll tell you some of the commands. So you have publish new, generate, run, deploy, and you can read through what each of these are. We're going to do a run because we want to generate a local host server. But you see the default port is 8000. Well, what if you have two of these going at the same time? You couldn't do that because one's on 8000. Or what if you had like a Java project going on another IDE running on port 8000? So I'm going to show you how to actually open it with a different port. And you do that by simply doing publish run, but instead of hitting enter, you do a -P for port and type in a different port. So we'll do 9093. Okay, and then hit enter, and now that's going to fetch and go ahead and install this. Now, if you guys try to do a publish and it doesn't understand publish at all, that means you have not yet installed publish on your machine. I did a video, as I stated in the beginning of this one, about doing just that. I will link that in the description as well. You need to go and watch that to install publish before you can go any further. So pause this and go do that and then come back. For everyone else, let's continue. So now it'll say, great, this is successful. Here's where your web server's at. Copy this, go back to your web page, and we're gonna just paste it there. And you'll see you have a couple of fake posts. You only have a couple of tabs up here on this header, which I'll show you how to add more of those. And then you have my lovely picture there, which will change for yours, and that's what we're going to do first. We'll focus on that, and then we'll change all these links so they match up with yours. And I'll also show you, if you want to do a GitHub or something like that, you can do that and add in their logo as well. So it's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and keep on going. All right, so to get a better understanding, we're going to open up our Swift site, and I'm going to walk you through some of the folders and things inside of there. So to start, let's minimize this, and if you double click on our Swift site folder, you will see a package.swift. Double click that and that will open up Xcode. Now I already have it opened up, so I'll go to that here, and I'm going to leave up our window over here too so we can see the difference in the two. To start off, at the very top, you're going to have a package.swift. Now I'm not going to go in detail with any of this because you're going to see it a few times throughout this video, but I just want to touch on what each of these are doing. So this is where our dependencies live, and you can see I added something called Splash Publish plugin, which is just called Splash. It's a plugin for Publish. So you can go and read up on that to see exactly what it's doing, but it's a highlighter essentially. And I've already taken care of that for us, but that's where you would add your dependencies and your packages for your plugins. Next, if you look at this content here, it holds a folder called post, and you can add other folders in here as well. This is everything here in the header, and then everything that you're actually seeing over here is what's actually being held inside this content. So if you went down on the post, you see your first post and all the information in there. In fact, if you wanted to erase this my first post text to wow, this is neat, and then you hit Command R, which runs this, it'll say build successful. Go ahead and give it permission, and if I refresh this and then I go into this first post, wow, this is neat is now showing up there. Okay, so there's that. Now we'll go down to actual the output. Output is spit out as soon as you run this. So once you did that publish run, it spits out an output, and the output is just giving you back everything that the site takes. You're not going to really need to know too much of that in the beginning, but later on down the road when you get more comfortable, it's a good way to troubleshoot sometimes. Let's say you change the color of the header to black and it's not spitting out black. Well, you can go in that output and see if it's giving you a black header, and if it's not, then you know somewhere in your code it's messing up with that. So it's a good troubleshooter. For sure, once you get a little bit more comfortable. Anyways, let's go down to resources. You have something called Pure. If you're not familiar, Pure CSS is what I've used to help us with the CSS part of this. And just to give you guys a helpful hint, some of the stuff we'll be doing in this video, the links that we won't and the links that we will, I will have those in the description as well so you guys can access those. But Pure is taking care of the style of CSS for our app. Next, we have web fronts. So if you look at right here, you'll see these links, and then you'll see these awesome logos to the left side. Those are being done with, first off, the web front pictures inside this folder is what's helping grab these. But also, if you hit this all CSS at the very top, you'll see something called font awesome. That's what's going out and grabbing the name, which I'll show you where those are stored. So that we're using that. Then let's move down to our sources folder. In the main one, we have a Swift site, which that's going to be the site that you name. And then you're going to have your main.swift. This is where everything is being ran.
Now, for my first video, when I showed you how to install Publish, if you would have went into the main there, you would have seen a lot more code, because it's using the dot foundation, which is the standard the standard theme that comes with Publish. And since I implemented a custom one, I took that out. So I put that actually to store in another folder. So you'll see that in a minute too. So, but this is just trying your Publish with the theme I named it. And then the additional steps, this is deploying that splash that I was talking about. So it's grabbing that and deploying the plugin that I installed. All right, so this theme plus custom theme, this is where I'm mixing the two together. So again, on the first video, you would have seen this struct with this section ID and then this item metadata. So now I just have these in two separate folders, easier to read, and they're working together to give us that theme. Lastly, if I click on this My Custom Theme folder, you're going to have this custom theme HTML factory. This will actually go down and tell you each of these functions of what's actually going on within that custom theme. Now again, we're not going to touch too much about the language inside of this because that's not really the point of this. I just wanted to get you guys to understand how to create your own site. If you want to make a custom theme and stuff, be my guest and add on to this or create your own, that's great. But that's what this is doing. And then of course I have another file here called the date formatter, and that's just a simple date formatter so it understands what the output in our site. More than likely some of you have already worked with date formatters. Lastly, I have a folder called My Nodes. Inside here are all the nodes you can see: node footer, grid, head, header, and this is just going in and telling us what to actually spit out. So these are helping us within each of these sections of our page. All right, so let's go on and start by fixing our picture, since it's not showing just my special face there, and then we'll move on down the line on the side of here and get all of these set up. Let's first start out by changing this My Publish site to something that fits your needs. I'm going to keep mine as Swift site, but you can name yours whatever you would like. So go down here to that theme plus custom theme, and then you're going to go ahead and scroll down till you see this var title and name that whatever you want. All right, so Swift site for me. Now go ahead and hit Command R. That will go ahead and run. Hit OK if you get this pop-up, and then refresh your page. Now that should say whatever you put in. For me, Swift site. All right, next thing, we need this name, and right now it shows they're stacked on top of each other, but when this is a normal view and I'm not sharing the same screen, these will be on the same line, so it looks a little nicer. But the way you do that is right underneath this name where you see Josh Kinney, and I'll go ahead and change it to Ron Dale. Okay, and then while you're at it, you want to go ahead and look at this description here and change this to whatever fits you. So I'm going to change this to painter, because whatever suits you. Go ahead and hit that Command R, run that one last time, hit OK, refresh, and there you go. Your name is now changed and painter is now there underneath Ron. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to change these links here. So we're going to first go access them, and then I'm going to show you how to populate them. Let's go take a look. Let's go to contactme.swift, which is right above that main.swift file. From there, you're going to see something that might stand out to you. We have a title, a URL, and an icon inside of this struct. Does that sound familiar? Well, if you look over here, you'll see that title, the logo or icon, and then when you click on it, the URL that you're going to. So what we're building is actually those little links inside of this file here. So if you wanted to change this, let's say you wanted to keep the location but just change it to match you, you can do so by just going in here and putting in your own information. For instance, let's say you lived in San Bernardino, California. You would change the title to that, and then you would change the URL to whatever you want. Right now I have it going to a Wikipedia page of St. Louis, but you can put it whatever you want whenever someone clicks on that.
And then the last thing is the icon. And I mentioned I use Font Awesome, which I'll show you how we're going to find this in a minute. But that is where this icon name is coming from. I know it looks kind of weird, but I'll show you how to do that. And then you can, if you want to remove one of these, you can do that as well. So let's go ahead and copy one. And I'm going to add a GitHub because, as you can tell, I don't have one yet. But I do have a GitHub page. So I'm going to paste this here. This is your GitHub info. Change email to GitHub. Change the title to GitHub. And then your URL is going to be your GitHub URL. Now, if you don't know it, it's github.com/your-profile. I have mine pulled up here, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy it to make sure I don't have any typos. And paste that in right there. And then the last thing is the icon. So, how you find the icon? Well, you go to, like I said, that Font Awesome, and I'll have this in the description. And then you search your icon. So I'm just going to do GitHub. And you can see there's different ones. Now, me looking at my page, I see most of these are like a square shape. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the square shaped ones because it seems like it'd fit my page. But for you, you can use whichever one you want. You know, there's no real answer. So once you click on that, you're going to see right here that FAB and then FA GitHub Square. You're going to see that weird name. This is what we're wanting. So let's go ahead and copy that. I think it takes a little bit more than what we need. Oop. Didn't copy that. There it is. Now all we want is FAB paste that into here. All right, so now if we go ahead and run this and go check, you're gonna get really excited and you're gonna hit refresh and then you're gonna be like, well, wait, it doesn't show up. That's because although we created it, we haven't actually told our site to use it. Where do you do that at? Well, I'm gonna show you. Go ahead and go back to this theme plus custom. And you're gonna see down here on this contact me, you have these. So if you wanna remove one of these, you can. If you want to add more, you can. So we're going to go ahead and do a comma, and then we're going to do a dot and look for GitHub. Now we're going to hit run. Okay, refresh, and bam, just like that, the GitHub is added with the logo. I click on it, and it takes you right to my GitHub page. Perfect. Now let's look at this awesome picture here, and let's update it for you. So what I do is I actually store my pictures online other than these web fronts, which aren't my pictures. The reason why I do that is I just think that it's a lot easier to access. Also, there's less items being stored inside of this app. App, is that what you would call this? I think so. Let's go on. So if you go ahead and go back over here, we're gonna go to, what's that called? Give me just a second. Get the link for you. So this is IMGBB. If you haven't heard of it, look into it. It's awesome. So you sign in, it's free, and then you just start uploading. So you can go straight from your computer just like normal, or you can drag in. Now I already have a picture that I'm going to pull in just to change mine. I don't really have to, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to drag in this Swift image that I have. And that didn't work. Let's try that again. Drag that in. Now you're going to see the Swift. You can say, hey, delete after so many times if you really want. For this purpose, you don't want these pictures to delete. Now, the next thing is you have different codes that we can access. Okay? Go ahead and click on this HTML image, and then you want to copy this one. So you can hit copy, and it'll go ahead and copy it for you. Okay, now let's go back to our project and see where this is stored. So if you go into the My Nodes and you scroll down till you see the sidebar, because that's what this is essentially. When your page is moving and when you get more information on it, you'll see the page will actually move, but this stays the same. This is your sidebar. So on your sidebar, if you scroll down, you'll see something called your image.src. This is the link to my picture I have out there now. So all they're needing is the link with the .jpg. So I'm going to go ahead and go down here and just paste this because it gives you a lot more than I need. And I'm going to grab just this part. And then I'm going to delete the rest because I don't need it. It's going to automatically format it for me anyways, thanks to the HTML and CSS that we have going on. Go back up here, and then I'm going to replace this with that I just now created. And again, this right here took what? I drug it in and then downloaded it and grabbed this image, and it's done for me. It's stored up there. It's not in my app at all. So it's referencing this whenever I put in the link. It's amazing stuff. So we're going to go ahead and hit run. Okay, refresh. And now I have a perfectly centered Swift logo for my image. Awesome. So now the next thing we're going to go over is how to do these posts, talk about the metadata within them, and also the Markdown language. From there, I'll also show you how to add different tabs on this header on the top. Let's get rid of this web page for now and focus on just the code here. So with this, we're going to go ahead and do a post. So you see inside our post, we have our first post, and you see an MD file. You're needing that MD file because Publish is looking for that to go ahead and display on your site. We're going to create a third post here. So we're going to go ahead and do new file. Let's name it whatever we want. I'll do third just to keep it the same. Oh. Right here, just do empty. And then name it third post, but make sure it's .md. That's an important part. You can name whatever you want, make sure it's .md. So here you're automatically going to see, you get the empty file here, and if you were to run this, and we go back over here to our page, I'll make this big, we refresh, we have a third, well, I didn't spell it right, third pose, and there's nothing there. So if we want to change this, let's look at how to do that. So first off, it's looking for metadata, which, and you can see in the beginning of both of these, right here it's looking for a date, a description, and then the tags. And in between these three dashes is where the metadata goes. So let's go ahead and copy this part here. And then paste this into the third. And then we can go ahead down here and start actually writing stuff out. Now, if I just said that this was fun and hit run, let's see what that looks like. So now we're getting our March 7th, 2021. So that's right. We're getting our first article and they're the right colors, so our tags are working. That's good. And then we're getting this was fun. Well, this is fun. That's kind of boring. What if I wanted to capitalize that? How do I do that? And the way you do that is with Markdown language. Now, if I know this just from doing this, but if you did a £sign here and space, that's going to give this a title. You go ahead and refresh, and now you see this is fun, but now you're also seeing the title is this is fun as well. So we need to do something about that. What can we do? Well, I could show you. Right here where this date is, you're not seeing anything called title. So if we add another metadata called title, and let's name this third blog. Okay, now it has a title. It's not going to think that this is the title. This is just going to be a title font. If you run that, and we refresh, now you got your third blog as a title, and this was fun is down here and is also bolded out because it's got a title font. That's how you do that. Now, if you're curious on more about the Markdown, which you should be, and I'll give you 2 links, but the one that really helped me was this basic link here. And this will help you understand what the Markdown is doing and how to actually do it. And what's awesome about this page is it'll tell you what to do. So for instance, right here, let me give you a better example. The bold, here it is. So bold, you can do it by doing these 2 asterisks on both sides of the word, or you can do 2 underlines on both sides of the word. But down here, it'll tell you this is what they want. This is the best practice. Don't do the underline. So there's 2 ways of achieving, and it's telling you the best practice. So that makes you write a little bit cleaner and correct code. So although this will get you the same output, this is what's recommended. So this page helps with that. So let's go ahead and use some of this. So you see bold is there, italic is 1 asterisk or underline, and again they want you to do the asterisk, you know, and you can add, if I click on here, you can see images. So it shows you how you can add your images in. Now with me, I didn't use the Markdown for images because I needed to change the width and the size. So I went ahead and used the normal HTML side of things to achieve that, so I can change the width and height. And I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's go ahead and go back over to our post and let's write some stuff. So we're going to go ahead and copy what I have in my other one. And this is the green screen one. So we're going to go ahead and copy this. And again, this is going to be exactly like what this is doing. Hit enter. And then I'm going to do a break. And if you're not familiar with a break, you just BR space / that's going to give it a break between. And then let me add an image. Now again, I'm just going out and grabbing an image that I have stored on that site that I showed you guys. But you can grab an image from wherever you want as long as you have the address to it. So this, I'm using the image src, then passing that. And then I'm passing the alt, and then I'm changing the width. And also, if I wanted to, I can change the size too. But let's take a look and see what this is giving me first. We'll replay this, and boom. So this is 800 width. Let me make this a perfect square, and let me go ahead and italicize iMovie. So we remember in iMovie, we can, let's do all of them. It's just 1 asterisk in front, 1 asterisk in back. I don't know if that comma is going to mess it up or not. We will see. And then in here, width, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing, but we're going to pass a height. And we're going to equal that to be 800 as well. Great. Let's run it. And now you look. I like the other way better, which is why I had it that way. But you can see how the height now changed too. And check out iMovie. Both of these are now italicized. Pretty cool. Let's go back to our post here and look at our tag. So each tag you see, there's different colors associated with the tag name. Inside our code, we can actually access that by going into our pure and go to stylus CSS. So first off, I'm going to show you before I do that. Inside our third pose, we're going to go ahead and add a tag called Java. Now this tag does not exist yet. So what's going to happen is it's going to be set to other, which is the same as first. So we're going to go ahead and refresh this, and you'll see Java is set to this other color. Okay, now we want to set this to a purple, which I've already set this up. Here's a purple. This is the color. This is the code for it. Again, I'll link this in the description below. But we'll go ahead and copy this and go and change the color for Java. So inside our pure directory, go to stylus, and then we'll go down to this American palette comment, and then you'll see Swift, iOS, article, tutorial, and other. All right, so you're seeing those happen. Let's make a one for Java. So we're going to do post.category and then dash the name. So it's going to be named Java. And then we're going to do the background of type, and I'm going to paste in the one that I just grabbed, semicolon, and I'm going to hit run. Now it should generate that, and it should change that to the color we need. Perfect. Now it's that purple. And that's as easy as it is, guys. Let's go on and move over to how to add our resume. Now the resume is going to be a little different from our post. As our post, you'd have to click on the link, then you have to click on your post, and then it'll pull up what you're looking for. With our resume, we want to just click resume and it display it. And if you think about the code here, if you go into the content, you have to click on the folder first for post and then click on the post to see it. So if we don't want that, you just simply get rid of the folder. So we're just going to add the resume directly into this content folder and then add our image of our resume. Now I use a image because it's easier and looks a lot nicer. You could write out your resume on this, go write it in Word and then format it over here, and that'll work too. You would have to mess around with the code though to make it look smooth. Me, I'm just going to use an image. So my title is going to be my resume, and then outside of that we're going to actually pass it. So we're going to go back to the site that holds my pictures, and I already have one in here. Now I'm going to go to embed codes, and it's already on the HTML image. I'm going to go ahead and grab this. I think I did. Let's see if it copied. Nope, it didn't copy. There it is. And you're going to see, and now one thing I've noticed, let's say I want to put some words underneath here, and then I want to go ahead and make this a title. Watch this. If I hit run, and we go and look at our resume now, it's working like it's supposed to, but if you look down here, these words, it's not working, and you see the pound sign. Well, that's supposed to make that a title. It's supposed to make it bold and big. So how do you fix that? Well, if you notice inside our code here, at the end of this image, and you'll see this from most sites, you have to do the / to close that out. And now that'll work. So let's go ahead and run this and see. And then we'll refresh this, and you'll see now that it's down here and it's bold. Now you can do a line break and whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. I just wanted to show you that / I was running into issues on, like, nothing was working. I was like, gosh, what is going on? And it was a simple / I'm missing in this image. But that's it for the resume. So we'll go, I'll run it again. We'll go look at it, and you'll see I got all this stuff blanked out again. I don't want you guys seeing my information on this because it's not part of my tutorial. I will be doing one on my resume, as I was a recruiter for 2 years, if you guys didn't know that. And if you're needing help with resumes, definitely reach out to me and I can help you out. But that's all we're going to do with the resume. Now let's look at actually adding. All right, so let's run over to our code again, and there's 3 things you're needing to know when you're changing a new section for your site. The first is actually adding a case. So if you go back down to this theme plus custom theme, you'll see these cases for post and resume. Now let's add one for videos. Now remember, whatever you type in here, so I'm typing in videos, copy that, and then you want to go up into your content here, and we're going to do just like we did with a resume. We're going to add a new file, and we're going to call this, it's going to be an empty one, and we're going to call this videos.md. This videos needs to be the exact same name as it is down there in that case, or it won't read it. And I actually just found that out recently, so make sure it's exactly the same, because that's what it's looking for, that name. Okay, so let's start out this video with some metadata. And all I want to do is add a title. And this title I'm going to add to be, let's just say my videos. Okay, let's hit save. All right, and then let's go ahead and try to run this. And we're going to, of course, not see it yet. You hit refresh, you still don't have my videos up here. Why? And that's because we added it inside of the theme, but we didn't actually add it inside of our nodes. So if we go to our nodes and go down to our header there, we can access it. So you'll see our section ID. We have the resume there, but we do not have the videos. And I want resume going last, so I'm going to put it here actually. So we'll do Swift site dot section ID dot videos, and now you'll do a comma to go to the next one. We'll go ahead and hit run, hit OK, and now you should be able to see our videos here, and then my video pop up. Cool. Let's add a video. Now this is going to be a little bit different, as I'm wanting to add an image, and then when you click on the image it directs you to a new link. But I don't want that link to show up. So first off, I'm going to give it a title name, and I'm going to say this is a video Josh shares to junior devs about topics they should know. Alright, so I'm going to say that, and then I'm going to paste in the video. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you one that I've used. And again, you want to look at this in here. See how I have these forward slash at the end? That's good. That means I can keep adding this Markdown language and it's not going to mess up. But the main thing you want to know here is you want to have the link. So this is going to YouTube. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and I'm going to go into my YouTube page. So YouTube, and I'm going to go into this one. Actually, I'm going to have to click on it to get that. Manage videos. I should be able to go in and grab it. Is it not going to let me share? Oh, there it is. Get shareable link. And then I'm going to paste that in here. Okay, so that's step one. This is the link that we're going to. This image SRC is the image. So we're going to change this to that image that I already have stored out here on this site. Again, you can be pulling this from wherever you want, but I'm going to be using this one here. Let's get this embed code, and I need this image source right here that goes to here. I wish I could just copy that, but it makes you copy the whole thing. That's okay. So I'll go down here, paste, grab this, get rid of the rest, and then inside here I'll add that. Okay, so A, the link the link when the user clicks on it, where is it going? B, the image, and then C, if you want to change the width and height, you can afterwards. All right, followed by this forward slash, and then your bracket, and then your ending, just like in HTML. This A and then ending, closure, or whatever that's called. I'm not a mobile guy or web developer, if you didn't know that, guys. So excuse me for my lack of HTML here. So we're gonna go ahead and hit run on this though. And we're going to go into our site here, and now you'll see you have my videos as the title of this. This is a video Josh shares to junior devs about topics they should know, and then it shows my picture, and then if you click on it, it'll go and start playing. So great. Now one thing that I like to do, I don't like these being so close, so I might add 1 or 2 breakpoints here just to give it a space. And again, that was just your BR forward slash, and I'm going to copy this. I'm going to add a couple and then run that again. replay, and now it starts to, oh, I put it in the wrong spot. All right, let's try this again. We want it right here. Better. All right, so we're gonna just go back to our code and add a couple more of the exact same thing. You can be creative and add your own stuff as well, but for the purpose of saving some time, we're just going to do the same thing a few times just to see a couple of videos show up. Refresh that, and there you go. So now you can see them. These could be different videos. You get the picture. Now the next thing I want to do is the About Me section. So we're going to literally do the same thing we just did. We're going to go into the theme. We're going to add a case called, I'm just going to name it About. All right, then we're going to go up here and make a new content. Oops. And we're going to name this about.md. Perfect. And then we're going to go into the node header, and then we're going to add that. I want that to be still before the resume, but after videos. So we'll do the Swift site dot item, oops, section, I'm sorry, section ID, and then dot about, do another comma there. All right, save that, and then go back into our about section, and let's add some information in here. So we'll do some metadata for the title. We're gonna name this Get to Know Josh. Okay, then down here we're going to do just a little thing that Josh is awesome. Now the 2 hashes, that's going to make it a little bit smaller than the title that we're used to seeing with just the 1. And sometimes you will see that you can see the markdown as you're actually writing. So if I go up into this first post, see how you can see this? Sometimes it shows, sometimes it doesn't. I haven't quite figured out why. If you guys do figure it out, please comment in the below, because I am interested. But if I, enter these, you can see exactly how big it's getting, as you type these. Also, if I was going to do a bold, so do 2 of these, and then start typing in here, you can see it bolded for me. Same thing, if I was going to erase that, you can see that it is now italicized. So it shows as I'm actually coding, as well as the color for your metadata in here turns orange. But sometimes that doesn't happen. You just gotta know that that's doing it, which is kind of annoying. Anyways, moving on. That was my little upsetness that I wanted to bring out. So let's add another sentence here that says, this is my, let's add some bold, about me section, and then I want to type yay, and then over here let's just add this, and then we want to come down here, and we can also do a list. So we can do this, 1 dot the coolest, 2 dot the loudest, that's true, and 3 dot the sleeplessness. Haha, is that a word? We're gonna find out. And then we're gonna actually show you how to pass in a markdown image that I told you I don't really use. So you want to start off by doing this exclamation point, then you do your brackets like you're doing an array, and then inside here do your alt text. just spell out alt text, and then your parentheses, and inside your parentheses is where you're actually passing this. So I'm gonna go get a goofy picture of myself. Right here, we're gonna do embed codes, and then I wanna go to, I want to direct link. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this, go back over here, paste that in here, make sure they're not in double quotes because you don't need them. And then that should do it for that one. So let's go ahead and run this and see what this looks like. So we will refresh. Let's go to the About Me, and there it is. So you get to know Josh. Josh is awesome. This is about, that is bold, italics, and then you have the 1, 2, 3. So that's listed for us. Great. And then you have the image. But look how big this thing is. Look at that mug. Goodness. So that's why I don't do that. I don't do it this way because it doesn't allow me to change out the size because we're doing the Markdown language here. So I prefer the other way where you can add in the width and height. Anyways, so that's going to do it for our page. So if you look, we have accomplished a ton. We can make posts now. We can add videos that don't show the link, but when you click on it, will go to the link. You understand the About Me page, and then also your cool resume page. But lastly, you have an image over here that you can set up with your links to all of your content or whatever you choose to set up. You can list these as all your emails if you're like me that have, 8 or 9 emails. Whatever works for you. So I hope this video was beneficial. I will go ahead and push this up to that GitHub account so you can see the ending result as well. And if you're curious on seeing my actual full site that I made, just ask me and I'll send that out. But as always, that's going to do it for this one. If you guys do have questions or comments, link them below. And if you do follow this and create your own site, please link your site too, because I would love to see it. If you are interested in seeing my upcoming content, hit that bell. Of course, hit that like if this brought you any kind of training, or if you benefited from it in any way, definitely hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much, and hopefully you have a